Hello, dear students. How are you? I hope all of you are fine. Students, in this video, we are going to understand lesson number 4, parts of a plant and their functions. You know that there are many types of plants in the world. Small plants, big plants, plants that grow on land, plants that grow in water. Some plants have small leaves, plants with big leaves. But most of the plants have certain common characteristics. Common characteristics means common features or common qualities. Like green plants make their own food by photosynthesis. Plants are fixed to soil and cannot move from one place to another. Plants possess the same parts. So students, in this chapter, we are going to understand the parts of a plant and their functions. There are two main parts of a plant, the root system and the shoot system. The part of the plant that is under the soil is called the root system, and the part of the plant that is above the soil is called the shoot system. We will first understand about the root system. The roots of a plant generally grow below the soil. They hold the plants firmly to the ground. There are two main types of roots, the taproot and the fibrous root. The long main root that grows from the end of a stem extends downwards with many small roots is called the taproot. Examples are neem tree and mango tree. In fact, most of the trees they have taproot system. A number of tiny roots that grow from the end of the stem, they grow downwards. They are called the fibrous root. In fibrous root, you will not see the main root. There are only small roots that originate from the end of the stem, from the base of the stem, and they grow downwards. Examples of plants having fibrous roots are grass, wheat, onion, rice, etc. Students, now we will understand the uses of roots. We know that the roots fix the plant firmly to the soil. Fix means they hold the plant tightly into the soil. The roots absorb water and minerals from the soil and they transport the absorbed water and minerals to the shoot system. But in some plants, the roots have a special function. In these plants, the roots store the extra food produced by the leaves. Example of such plants are radish, beetroot and carrot. So students, you see the radish, the beetroot or the carrot that we eat is actually the root of the plant. Now we will learn about the shoot system. The shoot system consists of the stem, leaves, buds, flowers, fruits and seeds. The stem is the main part of the plant. It grows above the soil and the stem holds the leaves, the branches, the flowers, the fruits and the buds. We will understand about the types of stem. Trees, they have thick and hard stems, as you can see here. The thick stem of a tree is called the trunk. The shrubs have thick, soft and green stems. Thick, soft, and green stems. The example of shrubs are rose plant, hibiscus plant. Herbs have thin, soft, and green stems. Examples are mint, tulsi, basil, etc. Now we see the climbers and creepers. The stems of climbers and creepers are very weak. They have thin stems and they cannot stand erect. So the climbers need the support of other plants or some sticks to grow up, to climb up. The examples of climbers are money plant and the example of creepers are pumpkin plants. Now we come to the uses of stems. The stem carries water and minerals from the root to the other part of the plant. The stem also supplies the food made by the leaf to other parts of the plant. The stem bears the branches, leaves, flowers and fruits, and the stem keeps the plant in upright position. Like roots, in plants, the stem have a special function. The stems in these plants store the extra food that is prepared by the leaves. Examples are potato, ginger, sugarcane, etc. So in these plants, in potatoes, ginger and sugarcane, actually what we eat is the stem part of the plant, the stem of the plant. Now we will learn about the leaf. The green plants prepare their own food with the help of these leaves. The leaf is therefore called the food factory of the plant or the kitchen of the plant. We will understand the structure of a leaf. The leaf consists of three main parts: the leaf blade or the lamina, the midrib, and the side veins. The flat, broad portion of the leaf is called the leaf blade or the lamina. The leaf blade has a thin line along its center, and this thin line is called the midrib or the main vein. The midrib has many branches of smaller veins called the side veins. The veins carry water and food to all parts of the plant. These are called the side veins. The leaf has many tiny holes called stomata. The plant breathes through stomata. Now we come to the uses of leaves. Leaves prepare food for the plant in presence of sunlight using water from the soil, carbon dioxide from the air, and chlorophyll that is present in the leaves. This process is called photosynthesis. During photosynthesis, leaves give out oxygen. This oxygen is very important for all living things. They use it for breathing. In some plants, leaves store the extra food that is prepared. The example of such plants are spinach, lettuce, and cabbage. They are actually the leaves of the plant. Some leaves are used for medicinal purpose like tulsi and neem. These two leaves are used in as they have medicinal purposes. Now we will understand about the flowers. Flowers are the most attractive part of the plant. They are of different shapes, sizes and colors. Flowers such as duckweed are small, whereas flowers such as rafflesia are big. Lotus and water lily are also big. Most flowers like Rafflesia are brightly colored, while some flowers are white, like this jasmine. Jasmine flower blooms at night. We can see this flower at night. Most flowers have a sweet scent, just like this plant. Jasmine plant has a flower has a very sweet smell. Now, uses of flowers. Most flowers change into fruits, and fruits have seeds inside them. The new plants grow from the seeds. So, flowers help to grow new plants. Now, flowers also attract insects and birds. These insects and birds, they help in transferring pollen grains from one flower to another flower. This process is called pollination. Pollination helps in the formation of fruits from the flowers. We will understand about fruits and seeds now. Most fruits have seeds inside them. Fruits also differ in color, shape, and size. Fruits that can be eaten are called edible fruits, and fruits that cannot be eaten are called non-edible fruits, like datura, foxglove. These fruits cannot be eaten, so they are non-edible fruits. But the fruits like mango and banana, they can be eaten, so they are called edible fruits. There are different types of fruits based on the number of seeds. Some fruits have only one seed, like mango, almond, apricot, peach. These fruits and cherries, these fruits, they have only one seed. Some fruits have a few seeds, like apple and sapodilla. Some fruits have many seeds, like papaya, watermelon, pomegranate. So, students, you see that fruits can be of three types depending upon the number of seeds. Some fruits have one seed, some fruits have many seeds, and some fruits have a few seeds. Let us see the uses of fruits and seeds. The extra food prepared by the leaves is stored in the fruits. Fruits have seeds in them, and new plants grow from the seeds when they get favorable conditions, means when they get sunlight, air, and warmth. They grow into new plants. So, students, I hope you have understood the chapter well. You must try to read the chapter after watching the video and try to solve the textbook exercises that are given. Happy reading, students!